And a swing and a drive. High and deep into left field and way back and gone. Oh, my goodness. Off the stick of Whitney into the glass. Scooped up by Hemsky, and he's hammered. And it's caught. It's caught.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of The Wrap Up. I'm your host Nick Buckler. With me as always, Dan Myers. Dan, we got a lot to talk about today, and we're going to jump right into it with the Detroit Tigers, who the struggles are continuing for this team. In their last 6 games, they have won just 2. Series against the Reds and the Yankees last week. They had 2 interleague series against the Reds. It was a split 2-2, 2 games at home, 2 in Cincinnati, and they started it off at home nicely on Monday with a 6-0 win behind a complete game from Anibal Sanchez. He only gives up 2 hits, strikes out 7, and JD hits a home run.
Yeah, it's definitely been an up and down battle, predominantly down for the most part, but that was a nice game to see, being able to close them out, and JD looking good, and Anibal finishing that game was fantastic.
It really was. So can they string 2 in a row? No, they can't. They dropped the next game on Tuesday night, 5-2 at home against the Reds. In that game, Kyle Ryan gets the start. He goes 6 1/3, 4 earned runs on 5 hits, and just an offensive struggle, which it's been pretty much all season long. And it's frustrating again to see. So then they go to Cincinnati, try to right the ship. This was a good game. Miguel Cabrera hit a mammoth home run off of Johnny Cueto in this game. David Price versus Cueto, it's a mammoth on mammoth in starting pitching. And the rain delay comes. Both starters get knocked out of the game after 5 innings. Tigers held a 4-3 lead, in which Jabba Chamberlain came on to blow that in the 8th inning. Tie game at 4. We end up going to the 13th inning where Ian Kroll, fresh out of the minor leagues, comes up and, well, the ball's still in flight from Todd Frazier. Serves up a walk-off grand slam, and the Reds win 8-4. Todd Frazier, that was his second of 2 home runs in that game, and he was just hitting the cowhide off the ball that whole series. And Ian Kroll, well, he picked up right where he left off last season. He was, for lack of a better word, terrible last year. I mean, I don't know why they have him in the bullpen when they have Gorzolani as well, and they have another lefty in there that I'm drawing a blank for right now. But I don't know why you need 3 of them, especially a guy who struggled. Maybe he did well in AAA, I'm not sure, but in hindsight, they dropped 2 of 3 to the Reds because Thursday's game was rained out, and the makeup date is yet to be announced.
Yeah, unfortunately. And if they had any opportunity of righting the ship or change the way the momentum went, it didn't happen. That game, especially on Tuesday, would have been huge to maybe get the momentum going. But especially with that walk-off grand slam, that was just ridiculous. And like you said, I'm not happy with Ian Kroll. Not a lot of Tigers fans are right now. So what's going on in the minors and our potential talent, I don't know. But they definitely have to get that fixed.
Most Tiger fans probably don't even know who he is, to be honest.
Yeah, that's true,
he's just that scrub that served up the grand slam after I went to bed. That's all they know him for. Well, they go to Yankee Stadium, if you will, the new Yankee Stadium. In your notes, I believe there's a little asterisk next to Yankee Stadium. Let me read this out loud. Yankee Stadium asterisk was empty, LOL. The asterisk at the bottom reads, New Yankee Stadium. Yeah, the one that sucks. Hashtag embarrassment. Well, you covered everything there, and I can't say I disagree at all. The Tigers, Comerica Park would be packed. Doesn't matter who they play. Sunday afternoon, Saturday night, Friday night, the Yankees are in town. They'd pack the place. Tigers are in town. Yankee Stadium should be packed. A game where A-Rod could possibly get his 3,000th hit, in which he did. No one's there.
No.
No one's there. Are they asking too much for ticket prices? I'm sure.
Yeah.
Probably costs an arm and a leg and maybe a few other limbs and your firstborn child. Who knows how much it's costing there, but that's a place where, we'll get to this maybe never, that I would never really want to live.
Really? Yeah.
Too much money. Not much area. Constant busyness. Traffic. Can't really have a car.
Nope.
But this is a sports show, not a home and living show, so we're gonna cut to that. Just know that if you ever want to move in with me, it will never be in Manhattan or New York City. But But the Tigers, they need to find a different place to play. I don't think they want to call that place home. They dropped 7-2 on Friday night. Justin Verlander goes 6 2/3 innings, 6 earned runs, 10 hits, 2 strikeouts only, and A-Rod did in fact get his 3,000th hit in his first at-bat, and it was a home run off of Justin Verlander. And the guy that caught that ball, he's probably going to have a payday in his future if he already hasn't been offered.
He's got a Ferrari in the driveway already.
A-Rod will definitely offer him some form of cash for that ball, I'm sure. It's only a matter of time if he already hasn't done so. Victor Martinez is back off the DL. He gets a base hit in his first at-bat back, and, well, that was all he got until Sunday. We'll get to that later. End of the story. Tigers lose 7-2. They get another chance on Saturday night, prime time. Alfredo Simon, he's been good all year. Well, he doesn't survive the third inning. Tigers drop it 14-3. Simon goes 2 2/3, 7 earned runs. It was like a home run derby for Yankees batters in that game. Where to start, where to not start. Let's just start on Sunday because Saturday's game was a disaster area. If there was a mercy in the major leagues, Tigers would have been mercied on Saturday night. It was never close. I never even flipped the game on. I just kept getting updates on my phone. Home run, A-Rod home run, 6 RBI. Oh, A-Rod. Oh, Brett Gardner. Oh, everyone else. Everyone that's not a Tiger. Oh. Well, Sunday was the Tigers' turn to get slugging. They jacked out 5 home runs in that game. You know when Andrew Romine hits a home run, you're probably going to win because that guy hasn't hit a home run since, I think, the First World War, for lack of a better analogy. Anibal Sanchez back on the mound, 7 innings, 3 earned runs, 5 strikeouts. J.D. Martinez was the big story in this game. 3 home runs, including going back-to-back with Victor Martinez in the first inning off of Tanaka, who has only given up 4 home runs all season going into that, and he ends up serving up 4 in that game. It was nice to see, for at least a moment, the Tigers' offense coming to life.
Yeah, where did that come from, especially these past couple of weeks? That was just incredible. So, yeah, I mean, if you turn on the game at any point, you could see that the stadium was empty, and it was Father's Day, so you think that'd be a big day for the kids and the fathers.
I'm going to interrupt,
but
that goes to show children in New York are cheap. They don't want to spend money to take Dad out to America's pastime. Oh, Dad, I'll take you to IHOP. They got this 2-for-1 special. I only have to spend $5. Take your dad to a baseball game. It's America's pastime. Who doesn't love to go down to the game to see your team get shellacked on Father's Day? It's an outrage. Come on.
Yeah, Dad, I know you're a lifelong Yankees fan, but I can't afford those $500 seats in the
So
upper
we're just
deck.
going to go to the Mets game and watch them lose. It's like the redheaded stepchild of the city.
Yeah, unfortunately. But, yeah, that was awesome to see, but it's one of those instances, especially this season, these past couple weeks. Can we get excited for it?
No.
We've learned our lesson. We've done that enough. And if they can keep that going, this offense keep going, obviously, maybe we can start getting a little more excited. But I'm not buying any new Tigers jerseys anytime soon, I'll tell you that, unless it's Miguel Cabrera. But
JD, power.
like I said, let's not get too excited yet. But
It's getting big. Getting big.
there's a cup of Kool-Aid, JD Martinez Kool-Aid under the table, in case you guys can't see it. He's getting really excited about that. But
Not
unfortunately,
Not yet.
yeah, it's that was great to see, and it just goes to show that we do have the talent to do that. It's one thing if you hit 8 home runs or 8 runs, score 8 runs. But when you go up and you have a lead that big, that just goes to show that the Tigers just aren't pulling the trigger like they should be. They're doing an excellent job, well, yesterday at least, and it's too bad we can't see more of this. But hopefully that can get something started, something ignited, make them believe in themselves again. So we'll see.
Even with the 12-4 win, the Tigers were still outscored 25-17 in that series. That's just a disaster. I'm sorry. And really, a guy who didn't play a whole lot in that series was Nick Castellanos, as he shouldn't have. He has been dreadful at the plate, and even worse in the field. I don't know how long it is before he optioned this kid down to AAA Toledo, because they got a youngster by the name of Dixon Machado at third base, and he's playing a mean third base. He's hitting the ball. I know he only came up for a few days in the Oakland series about a month ago, but he's playing some good baseball right now. And how long is it before maybe they flip-flop spots and you go try to get Castellanos right a little bit and get his swing right, do something. Field him, take some extra grounders in practice. hit the batting cages. I don't know, but is enough, at least for the time being?
Yeah, exactly. What's it going to take? Is it going to be some big moves between teams or minor league teams? I don't know. That's the question. That's $1 million question. We'll see.
Another guy who's right on the verge of coming back, believe it or not, is Alex Avila. Coming on back.
It's your boy.
Both catchers are playing well right now, but you know what? We better send one of those guys down. One of those guys who's playing real well. Oh, yeah, send him down. We got Avila. He's going to bring his 120 batting average in. He's going to just recharge this offense from the left side. Oh, man. Pitchers are going to be throwing no-hitters now that he's back. Perfect games. No runs will be allowed for the rest of the year because we got Avila putting down the fingers. Come on. Come on.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Maybe we should, we should, but send him down for a while, make it earn his way back. Granted, he did. Okay.
When your dad's signing your paychecks, you're going to probably, hey, he might be an all-star. If he played for Kansas City, he'd be on the all-star team. Yeah, let's talk about that. Kansas City has 8 starting in the all-star game right now, including batting .204, no home runs, 7 RBIs, Omar Infante.
Hey, we know that name.
Yeah, well, guess what? He's not an all-star. Jason Kipnis on Cleveland hitting .335. No. Jose Altuve. No. Even our boy, Ian Kinsler. Get out of here. No. We got the guy batting .204. He's going to start the all-star game.
Yeah.
Mike Trout is the only non-Kansas City Royal in the starting. And hey, guess what? Alex Rios is knocking on the door to take his spot. Why? I won't watch. I won't watch it. I have no desire. I don't want to. If I want to watch a Kansas City Royals game, I'd go down to Kauffman Stadium. I'd buy a plane ticket and I'd go watch a team that I hate play. I'm not going to go watch Joe Buck. And the Kansas City Royals are taking the field for the All-Star game. And Sal Perez will be by. I don't care. I don't care.
Are you going to watch the Home Run Derby? Are you going to listen to
is going 3 years in a row. Absolutely.
You hear Berman, back. It's gone. Back. Yeah, so.
I'd rather watch that.
Yeah.
At least there's some life there.
It's been a while since I've watched actual All-Star game all the way through.
It's boring.
It's
awful.
Unfortunately.
Who cares? It should not be. There should be no stakes in that. Who cares? When the fans have a vote, you can't trust the fans. You can't.
Yeah.
Vote Royals. Hashtag vote Royals. Don't hashtag vote for players that actually deserve it. Oh, no, that makes way too much sense. No way. Royals deserve it. 204. Escobar, 240. Over Iglesias, 330. Come on.
Yeah, you definitely have to step in with something like that. That's just
okay, if you want it to be the fans' game, then make it worth nothing. Not worth, the World Series home field.
If they want to make it a fans' game, have a raffle throughout the season, and once it comes up, let him be a bat boy. Yeah, a bat boy or something. Let him on the field. Then there's a fan on the field. It's the fans' game, and
the band is on the field.
let the MLB actually choose who deservingly needs to be there. So obviously they're not right now, but you get that every year. It shouldn't be a surprise. It just happens to be worse this year.
If Derek Jeter was on the All-Star ballot, he'd be starting at shortstop, even if he didn't play a whole game. Oh, the captain's on the ballot. We gotta vote him in. Oh, I'm an idiot fan. Oh, let me vote. KC Royals. Oh, yeah. Royals. All-Star champs. Yeah. Okay, enough of that. Let's talk about golf for a hot minute.
Yeah.
U.S. Open was this past weekend. Jordan Spieth wins it, and the way he won it was very interesting. I don't know if you stayed up and watched it last night, but Dustin Johnson had a chance to win it with about a 12-foot eagle putt on the 18th hole. He would have outright won it with that putt. He puts it past the hole. And then he has about a 2-footer to force a playoff that would have happened Monday. And he misses the 2-foot birdie putt to force the playoff. And he 3-putts from 12 feet out. And Jordan Spieth, 21 years old, has now won the first 2 legs of the Grand Slam as he won the Masters, the green jacket, back in April. And then on Father's Day, he wins the U.S. Open, the United States Open Golf Championship. Up at Chambers Bay in Seattle, there's a lot of controversy about how that golf course was playing. It was brutally difficult. It was nothing like you'd see over here at Metro Beach or anything, that par 3 course. That's where I learned how to golf, and
Same here, right there with you. And
Our longest hole, 108. I used to hit a driver. Still would be short.
yeah, I'm right there with you.
But it was good to see Paulina Gretzky, you know.
Always.
Yeah, always good to see her. She was there. That's why you got to love when Dustin Johnson's in the final group. Who cares about his golf game when he's got Paulina in the gallery? The great one, Wayne Gretzky, was also there, as well as his wife, whatever her name is. All I know is
Janet.
Yeah, Janet, her. She was there. And, well, U.S. Open's over. Jordan Spieth, is he the next great golfer?
That's a good question. Another question. What did you think of the coverage? How did you feel about Joe Buck doing it?
You know how I feel about Joe Buck. But Fox gave a perspective almost of golf that you never see.
Mm-hmm.
You hear a lot of conversations guys are having with their caddy, with the other golfers in their group. On the last green, Dustin Johnson and Jason Day were having a conversation that if you're watching on CBS, it's more of just your normal
Whispering.
Jim Nantz and
Yep.
whoever else with their boring coverage. And I kind of liked it on Fox. And I'm not a huge fan of their coverage of baseball and their coverage of really anything. But I really liked their golf coverage. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, it was something new. You have your diehard golf fans, the ones that are going to tune in religiously.
Mm-hmm.
But this, being on a different network, you might have the occasional viewer turn it on, since when has golf been on Fox? And it hasn't. It's so to see different coverage, to have more interaction. I think that's really going to bring new fans into the game, especially considering the change of leadership that the PGA is having. Tiger Woods gone, Phil Mickelson not really there. So when you got guys like Dustin Johnson, Jordan Spieth, it's a good new arrangement for them. So that they might have something there. Granted, I read a lot more negative things on social media, especially Twitter, about the coverage than I did positive. But there still was a lot of positive there, and maybe that's something that this new angle of covering PGA golf, that might be something new that might interest new viewers, new fans of the game. 'Cause it's huge. I mean, you can't talk to any of your friends without at least one of them watching golf or playing golf. So yeah, hopefully that takes off because it's actually a great sport to watch. If you can, it's almost like NASCAR. You either love it or you hate it, and that. That's about the closest comparison they'll ever have, but
no.
It was. Hopefully that takes off. They fix
I'm
the
offended.
kinks and stuff like that. So
it is not like NASCAR, everyone. If you've never seen golf,
as far as liking it or hating it, I'm personally not a fan of NASCAR. I'm a fan of golf.
So why would you even use that as an analogy?
It's the best analogy. You either love it or you hate it. There's no this in between. I'll turn it on for a couple of minutes and just turn it off. You don't get too much of that.
No. If you've never watched golf, don't listen to them. It's not like NASCAR. People don't just drive around in a circle and crush, 30 packs. Yeah. Sorry. If you're a NASCAR fan out there, I'm not.
I've tried. I really want to get into it. It's one of the best.
Best what?
Best, most viewed sports, I should say, on TV. They have an incredible following, and I've really tried to get into it.
It's incredible, all right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hey, the NFL or the NHL drafts are right around the corner, and with that, the Detroit Red Wings. They're going to be making a trade. I'm telling you right now, it will be a significant trade. A goalie's probably going to go the other way, including maybe a draft pick. There could be a few trades for all I know, but this weekend, the NHL draft, Detroit Red Wings are at the number 19 pick. What are they going to do, Dan Myers?
I really think they're gonna deal Anthony Mantha. A lot. I've been reading a lot. It sounds like he just wasn't the hopeful player that we were looking for. From what I've read, a lot of forums, is a lot of people see that he really doesn't have the work ethic like some of these players are that we hoped he would. And I really do expect him to be shuffled around in this draft and maybe dealt for something, or if not, once the trading actually really starts going full effect. I don't think we're going to see him. I think we're going to hear a retirement. I think Johan Franzen's going to think about retiring. I don't expect to hear from him. From what I've read, also he's dizzy. He's having a hard time remembering things. It's hard for him to see. So I feel like his days are done. He's going to be retiring soon. We'll get rid of that money for the most part as much as we can. And maybe even a goaltender change. I'd personally like to deal Jimmy Howard, but if we can get anything for either one of them, Howard or Mrazek, we'll see.
an interesting point I'd like to bring up is about Stephen Weiss. He came in, he'd scored 20 goals in every season he's played in Florida. He was their captain for a short period of time. Looks like a good signing. They give him 5 years, $5 million per, and he comes here and he just can't stay healthy. He's now 2 years into his 5-year contract, and he hasn't been any better than a third or fourth line guy or a healthy scratch. Part of that maybe with Mike Babcock. Other parts, lack of production, obviously, but they're considering using a buyout on him. I think that's not the answer because that's a lot of cap room to eat up over, a dead contract. I think if you can't deal him, can't work him into a contract somewhere, and I know Toronto was interested last year. Now with Babcock there, I don't think they're interested anymore because you saw how much he played last year under the reins of Babcock. Virtually nothing at all. He played no minutes. And I think almost if you can't deal him, your best bet is to give him new life under Jeff Blashill and see what he can do. I mean, he's proven. He's a veteran. He's been there, done that, although it was with the Florida Panthers. Might as well be in the beer leagues. But it's just, he's one of those that, what do you do? What do you do? And I think giving him another chance if you can't move him, buying him out is not the answer. I don't think buying out anyone other than Johan Franzen is the answer. I would pay that guy a lot of money to go away. But hey, maybe he might retire, and we wouldn't have to deal with all that tie-up, tax base, But Weiss is a guy that I still think could score 20 goals in the league. I really do.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially like you said, with the new leadership, they might have a different role for him. And I think they're really going to be reviewing all the players in their positions as far as what we're going to do with them. Jeff Blashill evaluating them. We should see. We might see some big changes.
I really expect changes within the next 2 weeks, to be honest. And then July 1st is the unrestricted free agency opening when teams can then sign unrestricted free agents. That'll be interesting. Matt Bolesky's a name that comes up from Anaheim. Joel Ward from Washington. And then I heard today Kyle Okposo from the Islanders. He's still under contract for 1 more year, but a possible trade. He's only 29 years old. He can score 20 goals easily. He's done it in every year that he's been healthy. But that's the problem. He hasn't been healthy in the last 2 seasons. He had shoulder surgery 2 years ago. This year he had a detached retina, missed some time. But he's a guy that really could add depth. He's sizable. He can score. He can bang bodies. He's a guy that I think the Red Wings really could use. And it's just a matter of what do they give up for a guy with an expiring contract. His cap hit's only about $2 million right now, but he's an expiring contract. He's going to probably want upwards of $5 million. So giving up prospects for almost a rental player, yet again, I know it's not technically a rental because we'd have him for a whole season and he'd get to see almost the Red Wings way and maybe want to re-sign here, but for a pretty penny. What are you willing to part ways with to get him? I don't think Mantha is worth Kyle Okposo, nor do I think our first-round draft pick is. Maybe if you can work him into a deal, but I don't think the Islanders are really willing to trade a lot of guys because they're a contender themselves.
Absolutely. But on the other hand, that he does have a list of injuries that you need to worry about. And, if we can sign him for a short term, see how he works out here, maybe. But, yeah, hopefully we don't have to give too much. If they are serious about picking him up, we don't have to give too much to pick him up. But you said he might want like a $5 million deal, but hopefully his agent can be like, listen, you got a lot going on with you, and we might not get that type of number. Maybe the Wings can jump on that and pick him up. We'll see.
Yeah, one more thing I'd like to get to before it's time to call it a day is a little Piston talk. There's now been rumors coming out that they are open to trade their number 8 overall pick in the upcoming NBA draft, and I think that might be a good thing to do because, do you really want a guy like Sam Decker? The Pistons always seem to get a shooter, and that never pans out in the league. Look at Kyle Singler. Caldwell Pope still got upside, but, he's still young. But all these shooters that they've had, Ben Gordon, that's not a draft, but just they always get these shooters and that never really pan out. You could probably get some for that number 8 pick, at least maybe a depth pick if you want. Get a couple draft picks for that one. But another thing I heard was rumors for Tim Hardaway Jr., former Michigan basketball player. And he's recently been rumored to possibly have interest in coming here. And it's a possible trade scenario for the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really excited for this draft this year. There's a bunch of key players that I'm curious to see where they're going to go. what the Pistons will do, absolutely, with the eight seed. We'll see. I honestly, I don't know where they would go. That'd be great if they could pick Hardaway Jr. up. We'll see.
Yep, and that's really always exciting when it comes to be about draft time, and NHL draft, NBA draft, and then we recently had the NFL draft, and the baseball draft was last week as well, and Tigers got a nice gentleman, Bo, whatever, from college, or from high school, I don't know, but he's a pitcher, and I don't know his last name, but he's a guy that I think is possible trade bait, at least, because I know the Tigers have rumored to get Johnny Cueto, and he could be a guy that goes the other way in that, but baseball drafts are very, very long, and a lot of guys never even see the big leagues, let alone AA, AAA. But a guy they picked up too is Nick Castellanos' brother. And pretty much if you know anyone in the organization, they're going to draft you, because really when it comes down to like the 73rd round, my name might get called. Who knows? But it's to the point where maybe trim that down, the baseball draft. I don't know, but that's something we'll get to at a later date. For Dan Myers, I'm Nick Buckler. Thanks for watching another episode of The Wrap Up.